Hello there, I hope you've had a good day. Welcome to Friendship Shaving. My name's Mark and today I'm going to be reviewing the T-400 from the Alpha Brush and Shaving Company. Many of you will realise that this is modelled on a vintage rubber set 400. And I'll be doing a little comparison with the vintage rubber set as we go along, but this is a beautiful razor. It has a silver tip badger knot in it. I've had it soaking already and I'm going to pop that back in its bowl of water. Let me just show you before I start and get a load of soap on this knot that the handle is a solid piece of machined aluminium. And it gives the brush a lovely little bit of heft. Now I'll put that back down into its water. Steve Tinter sent me this brush, and Steve has his own YouTube channel called There Will Be Blood. He normally shaves with a straight razor or his Feather Artist Club Kamasuri style razor. So with a nod to Steve, I'm going to be using my Feather Artist Club SS non-folding razor with a Feather Professional blade in there. Now, I was kindly sent a link yesterday, because that's my last blade, a link to a website where I can buy those blades, 20 blades for £6.95, which is incredibly cheap. It's about half the price of what I could pay on eBay. So it's a UK based site, and I'll put the link in the description for this video. I've been asked today if I would bowl lather with a Wickham's soap. So Johnny, this is for you. And I'm going to be using Club Cola today. I love this soap. So I think we'll get started now. I'm just going to squeeze and shake the moisture out of my brush, and we'll put the brush straight on top of the soap there. Now I suppose some comparison with the original rubber set is inevitable. But let me just say that the original rubber set has a hollow handle, and it is a very light shaving brush. Now this one with the solid handle comes in at 100 grams rather than about the 60 grams that a rubber set weighs. So about 4 ounces. In terms of weight, I've found that it provides a really nice heft, a nice weight in your hand that I like. I like it a lot actually. There we are. My brush is loaded now. I just got a plastic bowl and I'm going to tip the water out of there and just go straight to it, so not using anything special. And with my bowl on the windowsill there, I've just got a drop of water in there so I can pick up some water and put a few drops into the bottom of this bowl. I'll hold it up so hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing without any problems. And I'm already starting to get somewhere. I put a little drop more water just in the bottom of the bowl. I'm kind of avoiding the knot a little bit. Just just losing my grip on the plastic there slightly. Now I've already got quite a nice bit of lather, but I'm just going to take that just a little bit further. Oop, not going to dip the brush in my water. I'm going to go for just a drop on the bottom. There we go. That's good, and you can see all that soap has mostly gone out of my brush now and it's sat in the bowl. So I'm going to pick that up and I'm just going to work that around the bowl a little bit just to make sure that there are no air bubbles in it. And that is my lather. Now I'm going to leave some of that in the bowl. I don't need all of it. And I'll just pop that there for the moment. I've got my second use on this professional blade, and I do prefer them when they've been used once or twice. It just takes the extreme sharpness off the blade for me. Believe me, it's still plenty sharp enough, but it just makes for a more comfortable shave for me, usually. Now let's go with this brush. The silver tip badger knot is set a little more deeply. Than some of the other brushes that I have. And it's given the knot a really nice size, so you get that sort of the softness that you associate with a silver tip. But with a little bit of extra backbone because it's set deeper in the ferrule. So while I'm shaving and doing my first pass, I'm going to talk about the cost of restoring a rubber set vintage shaving brush. Now that may seem a strange thing to do when I'm reviewing the Alpha T-400, but all will become clear because I want to illustrate what a good price point this is set at. There we are, and I'm going to pop that up there. Now, a vintage rubber set will cost you usually £65 and upwards. Now that is just for a handle and a ferrule, and you may have an old damaged knot in it that you need to replace. Now I've had two. My first one was £65, but it was quite dented and dinged, and I passed that on. My second one, the one I've got now, was £85. If you don't know, aluminium, unless it is anodised or unless it is sealed, oxidises naturally with the air. Excuse me while I just get started. I just wanted to do this bit without my glasses on, because they do get in the way. Now, when I bought my rubber set, it looked as if it hadn't been touched for about 20 or 30 years. That oxidisation was really bad, and with aluminium, unless it is anodised or coated, you will need to polish it regularly to take off the effects of that oxidation. Once it gets really bad, the surface of the brush degrades and you'll need to restore it with sandpaper. To bring it back. So my brush cost £85, as I've said. And then there was £12 postage from America. When I got it here, I found that it was so corroded that the ferrule was corroded onto the handle, and I had to buy some strap wrenches to separate the two. So that was another £5. And you know, they were just cheap ones from Amazon, but they did the job. Then I had to buy some sandpaper because I needed to go up to about 7,000 grit, and I didn't have sandpaper that was fine enough. So let's say that's another £5. And then I had to buy some epoxy resin. Now I'm up to £112 already, and don't forget that I haven't even bought a silver tip knot for it yet. So, you know, that's going to be an extra cost and extra postage. Now the reason I think this is such a good brush is because the price point with postage is just a touch over £72. It's £64 and 7 pence and £8 14 pence postage from Hong Kong. So I'm already saving myself £40. And as I said, don't forget, with that rubber set restore, I haven't bought the knot yet. So, you know, for a silver tip, you can just add a lot more to the cost of that. So with the T-400, you get the handle, you get the ferrule, you get a knot of your choice. As I said, this one is a silver tip, 24mm silver tip, and you get a spare ferrule, so that if you wish, you can have a different knot to use with the same handle. Now, I know that's not a new idea, but it is nevertheless a very, very good idea. So you can see with this that you get a lot for your money. Now there we are, first pass, nice and easy. And I've still got absolutely loads of lather in here. Do you know, I like to face lather, but when I do bolt lather, it's a very nice feeling just to brush, to paint, if you like, the soap onto your face. I find it really feels kind of luxurious. Beautiful. Now once I've finished this shade, I'll clean that knot off and I'll be able to show you the brush again in a little bit more detail. But the finish on this brush is lovely. It's really lovely. It is CNC machined. So it has got a really excellent finish. The original rubber set, by the way, is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's cast. So there are impurities in it. When you sand it down, you may get little, like, bubbles in the aluminium. But there's no such thing on this one. It is made from (6063) aluminium, which apparently is alloyed with silicon and magnesium, and which makes it very resistant to what's the word I'm looking for? I've written it down. Corrosion. I couldn't think then for a minute. Makes it very resistant to corrosion. Now, I mentioned earlier about aluminium oxidized, but this one is anodized. The finish is anodized. So that is going to stay looking like that. And the surface of that brush is not going to degrade. Well, I tell you what, you do have to concentrate with this razor. Excuse the noise of the water. I know it's a little bit annoying on video, but it really is better just to rinse the blade of this under the tap. There we are, and that is my shape. I'm going to leave it at that. Oh, a little bit sore there. I'm pleased I haven't cut myself. Now let me just rinse this brush off. There we are, just a quick rinse, and I will rinse it and clean it properly in a moment. There we are, so you can see I've got the 24mm knot. It's set down to about here actually, so you can see it gives quite a nice sized diameter to the knot for me. I do enjoy the extra bit of backbone on it. It's just clumped together there because for the moment I haven't rinsed it out properly, so that's nothing to do with the knot. You can see that although it's wet from my fingers, you can see that the finish is really nice. That T-400, by the way, on the bottom is actually stamped into the aluminium. It's a really nice touch. You know, I quite like that rather than it just being painted on. If it was painted on, you know, it's got a little extra lip around the edge, so it wouldn't get worn off, but I just think that's a really nice touch, and I like that. As I say, it comes apart with the solid handle. I like the solid handle. It's a good, it's a good weight. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. It's just nice for me. I like that this is made of aluminium in a nod back to the original. I think that's really good. So there we are, you can see how deeply the knot is set in that, but it works really brilliantly for me. There we are, I'll screw that on. So for the price, as I said, you get the handle, 2 ferrules and a knot, and I think that is a good price. And I'm rather impressed with the brush. I think it's lovely. Now, there we go, all done. I've had a morning shave today, so it'll be a little bit strange when I don't have a shave this evening. The house was nice and quiet, so I thought I would take advantage of that. Now, I love the Club Cola. I think I'm going to be looking out as we head towards Christmas for some Club Cola balm. I think that will be going on my Christmas list. But I don't want to take the scent of that away too much, so I'm just going to use my Nivea Men Sensitive Cooling Balm. Some of the good stuff. Do you know, I was shaving with my Feather Artist Club razor the other day, and I didn't stretch my skin properly, and the blade just went like that slightly under the skin. I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating it, just like that, because I wasn't stretching my skin out. I was really lucky, I just caught it in time. I had a thin little line on my skin. So there we go. If you get a little bit complacent with one of those, they do bite, and I was definitely complacent that day. So that is my shave for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you've enjoyed this sort of spotlight on the Alpha Brush and Shaving Company T-400. I love this. That's me. Take care now. All the very best to you. Bye bye.